Welcome along again to the Audi Performance Zone, and we're going to talk about the man you just saw there who's leading the way by a comfortable 7 shots at the moment, Cam Young. And Ollie, we're going to take a look. This is from earlier today, and I want to talk about the pause at the top of his swing, because you and I have been mentioning it off air. It seems to be getting longer and longer, that pause. Tell us why he does it and why is it so good for Cam?
Yeah, I mean, such a noticeable pause at the top of the backswing. I mean, it's something he's always done, but this week especially, it looks probably a little bit more pronounced than what it does maybe in other weeks. We'll just play this through here. And it kind of seems like he's up there for an eternity at the top of the backswing. But I'd just like to show you, as we take him up to the top here, he's got a pretty classical setup, Cam. His arms are quite extended. At address, and you'll just see him as we take this club away into the backswing. If we can get this working there, you can see how straight his right arm is there going back. So he creates quite a lot of early turn in the hips and in the chest, in the torso, going back. And as you watch that come up to the top, right arm still quite straight. And now it's starting to flex, and he really gets a lot of elevation with his arms at the top.
So that left arm is so high. Like JT. Reminds me, JT is vertical.
Yeah,
amazing.
We'll just draw a line down here.
That's very hard to do, by the way. If people at home trying to do that, that's hard.
Yeah, it's athletic. It's a tough position to get in with all this width in the backswing, and he takes it up to the top really high, almost down to the front of his right foot. He doesn't get an awful lot of depth with his arms at the top. So for the reason for the pause, and he times this really, really well, and it's all about timing. It allows the club to fall. He almost lets gravity take over, and natural forces, if you like, let that club drop. And if you see here, the time that he takes from the top, we'll just roll this down. It drops slightly. You can see that club falling back behind him, kind of creating the inside path, really getting a feel for where it is. In this position, it's just textbook. The club's coming down the right forearm. He's got the club on a great plane. And that allows him then to be really, really explosive and rotate through it as fast as anyone in the game. He's got a terrific flexibility, really, really strong. Works out a lot in the gym, does everything really, really well. He's been a great player for a lot of years now. And I think Cam Young, we're just waiting for him to break through and win. And I think, this week, if he's, I read earlier, he's got the Ryder Cup on his mind. He's almost got to take his mind somewhere else to get this tournament and done. He's in such an amazing position, and we'll just play this one through into a full finish. Just tremendous explosive speed, great strength, great flexibility, pretty textbook golf swing.
Yeah, amazing stuff so far from Cam Young. And mentioning Ryder Cup there, Cam Young's from New York, and the Ryder Cup's at Bethpage in New York this year.